Hello and welcome to the Wren Den. I'm Wren, this is the Den, and today we are organising the yarn stash. So just before we go any further and before I forget, I spent yesterday painting the garden fence. So if you see blue paint on my hands or in my hair, no you don't. It's fine. So I'm in the mood for a sort of inside kind of a day today. I don't know why I sound so husky, by the way. I don't feel sick. Can fence paint make you husky? Anyway, moving on. I did a reel on Instagram like a while ago, doing a little tour of the yarn stash and how everything's set out. But in brief, this is acrylic I have a plan for. This is gubbins. This is socks I'm too scared to wash. This is bougie yarn arranged by... Oh, actually, here is like commercial but nice material yarn, like nice fibre content. This is bougie yarn I don't have a plan for. This is bougie yarn I do have a plan for. And right at the end is bougie yarn that is already wound. And then this is my kind of historical acrylic collection, which is double stacked. Now I'm using this a lot at the moment because I am making several large acrylic pieces, including a blanket. So I'm pulling a lot of colours in and out of here at the moment. So while it is technically organised by colour, was technically organised by colour in sort of stacks and then behind, every time I pull a colour out of the back, it only ever goes back in the front. And this shelf is rising. You can sort of see the shelf thing is actually here and then the shelf is here. So that's not going to work. And also I've got enough bougie yarn now that I do have to think about moths, which haven't so far been a problem, but I don't want to be surprised by moths. So unfortunately I have bought plastic about it, but I think this is going to work. I've got 8 of these plastic bags with zips, and they've got kind of squared sides. And the plan... Let me take you over to the shelf, actually. So, hello. The plan is they're going to wedge in that way, and then I can pull them out like sideways drawers. So I can still have it sorted into like monochrome, whatever, you know, colour sections. And then these are slightly less deep than this shelf. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get 2, so much stuff here, 1, 2, so I can separate the bougie yarns in a certain way. If all of it doesn't go in these, it's not the end of the world, but I think it's the easiest way to make the back of this shelf useful. I was looking for something that was like long in the this way dimension so that I could put things at the back but still be able to get them out easily. That's the idea. Part of the problem is that step 1 would normally be take all the yarn out and put it on the desk in order to be able to organise it. But the desk is currently half full of D&D minis I need to prime and my embroidery and snacks. We gotta have snacks. So we're gonna have to do this slightly in sections because I don't have the space to literally put all of the yarn out at once. The first thing I think is to work out how many balls of yarn I can actually fit in here. So I think we're gonna start with the monochrome. I do kind of want these to be organised in rainbow. There's loads, and they're all different colours, look. They're meant for like kids' toys and Legos and stuff, but it was exactly the size I wanted for this shelf, so we'll have to hope that it looks cool once it's done. Do I remember how rainbow works? Yeah, I'm smart. Et voila. And I'm going to get all of the monochrome yarn out. I'm going to see how much of it we can fit in here, and the zip still close. Is cream monochrome? Discuss, because it depends how much fits in this bag. Ooh, a whole brown I didn't know I had. That's like monochrome adjacent. That's like a multicoloured. Is that monochrome? Probably not. That's white. Probably monochrome adjacents are not going to fit in here. That's okay. They can go in yellow. Okay. There's a black somewhere. None of you are the black. What? Okay, so option 1 is they go this way. Except I'm going to see this side, so I'd actually kind of rather if they went that way. The other thing that I do want to do, it was just a sparrow on the windowsill. If, like this, the label has come off, while I'm going through these, right, my method for making these stay with the balls so that I know what they are later is I fold it into 4, and then I'm just going to put one corner under there, find the end, thread it through, and then just hold it against the sort of body of the skein, ignoring that. And wrapping that way. And then I'm just going to tuck it under there. And that way it all stays together, it's about the shape it's supposed to be, etc. Now, can we fit 2 skeins this way in here? Technically, yes. This is quite dinky. So that could go there, maybe. So that kind of works, right? And you can see what it is from the end. It's all the monochrome stuff. Now, the only thing is that shelf still looks basically full. So I'm going to have to pack more of these before I know whether or not this works or whether I need to pack more in. I'm wondering if I should try and fit the creams in here. I might fit the little creams in here. Because you can actually do 2 layers in these. I was sort of treating it like the little bits, but it is sort of 2 skeins wide. And these are just on Amazon Jobby. I'm not proud of it, but that is the situation. So yeah, those fit in there. Okay, right. I'm going to try and isolate the next bit of the rainbow now. What do you think? Browns and yellows and creams. Let's see what we can do with that. Eek. 4 browns, and so you. That's yellow. That's yellow. That's yellow. That's brown. That's it. Ooh. Ah! This is a bit like trying to get in the tube. It's like, no, there's space. Just keep pushing. Okay. Orange, red, pink. I don't think there's many pinks. So we might get away with that. That's honestly not that many. Maybe I should try and fit purple in here. Rather pleasingly, we've hit the purple bag for purple. And then this kind of burgundy. Ooh, I've got an unallocated. Oh, the shade burgundy. I wonder what that could be. This is a really nice pink, and I am going to have to take it to Abercan and try and find a colour match for it because I'm running out and I don't know what it is. I'm trying to be a lot more careful about colours for this reason because I'm using a lot of like bigger sections of colours at the moment, and if I can't keep track of what's what, then I am sort of condemning myself to needing to rebuy stuff and just sort of hope that it matches, which is irritating and I don't want to. At a certain point, that's not going to work. Now, blue is a problem because I have so many blues because of the Zelda tapestry. There's a lot of blues. So what I think I might do is skip blue, do green, and then see how many blues and just divide it between light and dark or something. Once I know how many there are. Oh, what do we do about teals? I'm going to put them aside and then they'll fit wherever there's space. What is this attached to? These are green. Sort of grey green? That's teal. That's blue. That's turquoise. So we've got these three middle guys. It turns out I sort of might have the same amount of green and blue because I have Christmas jumper leftovers. I've got 5 bags left. I'd like to keep 2 for the top bit. I don't think more than 2 will fit up there anyway. So I've got 3 to play with. So I think we might be doing a kind of in the middle bag. Teals and teals adjacent. And then hope that that helps. I don't know, let's try and put all that in the bag and see what happens. Haha! I win. I still haven't figured out what to do with that. Blues, and then we'll do the in-betweens. Basically, I'm fitting 6 kind of big skeins, like full skeins or nearly full skeins in each one, and then stacking the smaller bits sort of on top. And that does seem to be working so far. You can get a couple of full skeins on top, but like if you try and fill it with 12 fulls, that's not going to work. Okay. This seems like it's gonna fit. So we're probably gonna fit this multicolored one that I still don't know where it goes in there as well. This one I was using both ends of and it's got so bad, but I'm truly just gonna ignore it and stuff it in the middle. Such a bad idea. That's technically still intact. Ooh. I don't recognize this at all. That's very nice. That was a present? It's not a brand I recognize. Whether or not these fit back on the shelf is still something I have yet to determine. I'm really hoping so. But I might have to move the patterns to make room. Oh well. How much of you fell off? Come on now. That's probably the least full. Look, it's almost kind of actually square. Let's see how many of these we can fit on this shelf and sort this shelf out, and then we can do bougies in the last 2. Right, I am going to move these because I don't want to just throw them on the ground by accident. Oh! Or indeed right now. See, in an ideal world, I'd like them to be that way though, but it's not going to happen. So, I'm sensing a problem already. Maybe fit one more in there. Okay. That's not going to work. I wonder if I can stack them. I bet the answer is no. No. It's too tall. That's worse. So I've got 5 in there, which is great. Unfortunately, I had 6 bags. For now, because I otherwise really like this storage strategy, it's just going to go on top of this thing here. like that. I don't like it. I don't know, maybe at some point I'll redo this shelf and it can go up there. I think the solution is to use up more yarn, which will happen. Actually, that's a good point. So this blanket that I'm making is going to be large-ish. It's not like baby blanket sized. So maybe I'll use enough yarn that these won't be so full. Is that the plan? Maybe. Anyway, this is medium success. It's way easier to like access and see. Hopefully. Proof will be in the pudding. Let's get all the bouges down, because I also hate this, and see what we can pack into 2 bags. I'd be surprised if it's fit into 2. So we need to prioritize. Commercial stuff I think can stay out. A lot of it is like 50% viscose. And so I think, and 50% cotton, which I think has slightly less danger of being mothed. Let's see what fits into one of these in terms of skeins. I also might leave these till last. I don't know. That's quite neat, actually. It's heavy. I think these are denser than the skeins. Okay, and then stuff that is hank-shaped that I don't have a plan for is a much smaller pile. This is technically also stuff I don't have a plan for. A lot of this like stuff I don't have a plan for isn't that I don't have a plan full stop. It's just I want to have it like a lot, the undyed and the black I want to have so that I have those things for contrast when I decide what to do with the variegated ones. So it's not like there's not a plan, they're just the plan is mutable. Okay, I've got room for one more thing. I wonder if got room for slightly more than one more thing. These are merino, so I do want them to go in there. These are cute. To keep them safe. You got room for one more, or is that pushing it? I think that might be pushing it. And anyway, there's not one more that like easily goes out on its own. It's shy. That's what we've got left. I would have liked to have got the wound stuff in, because although I wound it because I had a plan, those plans have slightly changed order. So they're probably not the next thing in the queue. But less out is still better. So let's just see if we can get all this back on the shelf. And then success. Oh, there is actually a line down the side. Right, I'm going to put these in here. If I can. Okay, and there we go. There's all of the yarn. This is technically macrame cord, it doesn't count. I think the lesson to take away from this is that there is no room at the inn. It is full. And though it does look very smart now, I'm going to have to use some before I can buy some more. Unfortunately, there is like a little bit of room in the bougie bags. So I'm going to have to be strong about that. I've talked before about the fact that I love looking at other people's like yarn hoards and yarn stashes, but having a lot myself stresses me out. It feels like pressure. It feels like I have to, because I don't want to just own them and not use them, because that feels like such a waste of like looking at a thing and being like, this is gorgeous, I really want to use it, and then just tucking it away and never using it, you know? So I do want to use all of this stuff. And actually I'm about at the right level of acrylic where I usually have the color I want, if not something quite close to it. There's a couple I might buy if we are in Abercan or something, soon, but they're very, very specific. So like I want a kind of grey brown so that I can render our cats in in yarn. But that's such a specific colour that I'm not gonna pin my hopes on it, and I probably will just do them in regular brown because I'm gonna get to that point before we get to the yarn shop. I would like this to fit on this shelf. I think the blanket that I'm doing is a really good way of making that smaller. And I think actually the bougie fits all right in here. There's 4 balls behind here that I want to make a cover for this chair out of that are sort of protruding the Zelda tapestry slightly, so I might try and use that sooner rather than later and get that kind of off the shelf and into use. But otherwise, I know it's a little bit dark over there. I might have to reorganize some of the lights. I think one of the lights things has fallen down, that's why. I don't know if I can reach that to fix it right now. Yeah, because there's like 4 lights in a chain and some of them should be over there. But yes, that's it. I hope that was nice to sort of follow on, hang out while we did that. Let me know what you think of this system. Secure enough from moths? And is promising to use the yarn up just the same thing as promising to like lose weight to fit into a good coat? Or is it a real thing that's possible to achieve? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. It is quite warm in here now because I've been moving around, so I'm gonna go and like sit under a fan or something. But yeah, let me know what you think of this, and I hope that the next time you see it, it will be just as organized and I will keep up with the system. We'll see. I keep circling this. I'm going to actually do the outro. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next project.